Knife dope. More dope. Come and get your figs. What's up, fuckers? Your boy's back with a fresh batch of dope. Knife dope. That's right, people. The hits don't stop. Look at this goddamn laser beam that is adorning this Spyderco Native 5 in CPM Magna Cum Laude. I had got these, this was actually a Spyderco lightweight version that dropped sometime in 2023. I had managed to get one of the very first batches of it. And, you know, I hadn't been carrying it as much lately because the edge kind of seemed, I don't know. Granted, I have been using it, but it seemed to me like the edge was a little bit chippy. Maybe chippy's not the right word. It seemed to be rolling rather easily. You know, I had kind of stropped it a little bit, but then I kind of had like a nick here and there. Ended up just sending this out recently for a sharpening gig, and it came back screaming, goddammit. Heard it through the wrap. But this one's rocking these AWT scales. You know, I had always been saying that I kind of wanted to get more and more into sharpening, but I just don't have the time, man. And I got a guy who's giving me a great deal on sharpening right now. So I am taking advantage of that. Quick turnaround time, fantastic pricing. If you're interested in this gentleman, let me know, because I don't know if he wants me to put his information out there to the masses. But if you want some good quality sharpening for an affordable price, send me an email and I'll plug you in. Now, we got a special treat today. Got one, obviously, a Spyderco. This is coming to me by a friend of the channel, Mr. Tommy Mack. And so without further ado, let's get to the dope. Now, Mr. Mack is a friend of mine at this point. Great guy, and he is also a Spyderco aficionado. And this is a long discontinued Spyderco that I had never had the chance to check out. He actually sent it to me for a couple of reasons. One, for me to check it out, and then one, to give it a spa day. He felt that the action had kind of gotten worse over the years. This is the Spyderco Domino. Now, this is a design by Mr. Eric Glesser. These are long discontinued. And this is actually one of the only two Spydercos to feature the Kit Carson inspired flipper tab. I think there's the Silver Axe might be the other one, kind of going off the top of the brain. Now, you might be asking yourself, who is Mr. Kit Carson? Well, unfortunately, he is no longer with us, but he was a military veteran, actually Master Sergeant Harold Joseph Kit Carson. And he was the one who actually inspired and designed the first rapid deployment for pocket knives, which we now call the flipper. Let's go ahead and check it out. Woo! Detent is dialed the fucking. Look at that sexy blade, people. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Now, way back in 1999 was when we first saw the flipper tab on a knife. And believe it or not, it was actually on a CRKT, the M16 to be exact. Prior to that, rapid deployment options on knives were kind of rarely seen. And it ended up taking the world by storm. They actually shipped, you know, CRKT back then actually shipped pallets of these CRKT M16s to military personnel across the world. And then fast forward, 40 years later, 30 or 40 years later, you know, this is now customary on pocket knives. 7.68 inches overall length, so right in my sweet spot. Of that, we've got 3.1 inches in this wonderful drop point blade. Yeah, look at that sexy goddamn blade. Blade steel on this, wait for it, XHP. So essentially D2, a stainless D2 on steroids. You've also got a nice hole for your deployment. Show side has got this pretty attractive, like a blue weave carbon fiber. And then it's actually got a titanium plate behind there as well. Titanium frame lock, so you know that these are going to be manufactured in Taichung, Taiwan, who does all of Spyderco's titanium folders. Now, you know, it's been no secret, I'm not a flipper tab lover, especially the ones that, you know, kind of get in your way once the knife is open, or when you're trying to close the knife. You know, I like my shit to you know, hit the nail when on the close. But usually with a flipper tab like this, it's not going to give you that satisfaction. But nonetheless, great knife. We got a nice spot for you to choke up, so you can definitely accommodate that full purchase, no refund. 4.02 ounces is the weight. You can see Mr. Mack has attached a Lynch Northwest deep carry pocket clip, flow-through construction. I would love to see Spyderco bring this back, you know. There are so many knives that I find out about, you know, here later in the years after they've been discontinued from Spyderco, and it's just, it really makes me, I love to try to seek them out, whether it's just to have them on the channel or even to purchase them, you know. I think if this was my knife, I would probably have to cut that flipper tab off. That's just me, people. You know, I'm jaded. But when I got this, the action was horrendous. It's a lot nicer now, a lot smoother. We were kind of centered, but, you know, Spyderco's tend to typically fall out of centering, at least these older ones in particularly. But I dig it, man. I had never had a chance to experience this until now. So big thank you to Mr. Mack, of course. Back in its heyday, these were coming in about $220. Not sure what they're running now. I think I saw some idiot on Blade Binge try to sell one of these for $500, and he tried to do a little bit of fuckery. He tried to put it in a what do you call them goddamn things? Like a food saver bag, and try to pitch it as it had never been opened before, which is a lie. These knives, Spyderco doesn't ship knives in those airtight bags. Nice, attractive belt satin finish. I think their belt satin has changed over the years. You know, this one looks more aesthetically appealing to me, at least. Yeah, man, it's a good one. Now let's go ahead and put some knives up for some size comparison. Basically, a little bit of knife flexing. You know how the fuck we do. Gonna roll with America first. We're gonna start out like this. The Spyderco Shaman 15V rendition. More American dope for your palate. We've got the Spyderco Bical. Straight fighting knife, baby. So there we see those. Let's do a couple more, shall we? How about two of Taichung, Taiwan's finest? First up is going to be the Sage 5 lightweight rendition, rocking those Parsons Blade Works titanium scales. Then another discontinued Spyderco. We're going to go back to the Sage series and go with the Sage 3, which actually rocks the bolt action lock. So there you see the Domino up against those. Let's do two more. God damn it, two more. More Spyderco vibes. We're going to go with the Swizz Bowie, Knife Joy exclusive. And then last but certainly not least, one of my very first Spyderco grails, and that is going to be the Drunken Dmitry Sinkovich design. And so there's that Domino up against those. Now, in the honor of flipper tabs, I have decided to share with y'all 5 of my favorite flipper knives, or flipper apparatuses that are done to perfection, I like to say. Let's start out with this one, which is coming to us from Vero, which is the Synapse. You know, I'm not sure if Vero was the inventor. I know that for the most part, he gets the credit for that disappearing flipper tab we all love. You know, I think if you're going to give me a traditional flipper, it's got to be like this, man. That's just my opinion. The Synapse to me also is one of, if not the best Vero model you can get. So there's that one. Then you didn't think I forgot about this one, did y'all? The Smock. Now, you know, the Smock also has that same disappearing flipper tab. I am not 100% sure if the Smock was first prior to any of the Vero knives. I would lean towards yes, but don't misquote me. S30V, beautiful modified sheep's foot blade, nice shallow hollow, peel ply carbon fiber, which I could definitely do without, but you know, it is what it is. This one doesn't get carried, but it ain't going nowhere. That should have been also one of my untouchables. Then we've got something from the recent side of things, which is coming to us from Vosteed. This one is the Hedgehog. They've got that same setup as far as disappearing flipper tab, S35 VN, micarta scales. You guessed it, another sheep's foot. We got 2 more, people. Then we've got a Wii, which is the sexiest nefarious known to man. They have also done that same type of disappearing flipper tab. Tons of leverage. The knife flies the fuck out. Love that clip point, almost like a, yeah, clip point. I was going to say almost like a trailing point or Persian, essentially. Just not in the grass. No, fuck it. It's a goddamn clip point. Beautiful blade, beautiful knife. One of the best, if not the best, in the game. And we got one more, people. We've got what I feel is quite possibly the best flipper tab out in the game. And that is going to be coming to us from Mr. Lee Williams, and that's the kickstop apparatus. This one is on a recent purchase, which is the Chavez Redención 229. Absolutely love these kickstops, man. So yeah, if you never tried a kickstop, I highly recommend it. Well, there we have it, people. Spyderco Domino for your viewing pleasure. Bring it back, Spyderco. But more importantly, I want to know what you fuckers think. Which is your favorite form of deployment? Tell me all about it. Love you, mean it. Until the next time. Cut something, cut someone. Just don't cut yourself. Stay dangerous, fuckers.